Oh, yeah. What is going down, everybody? And welcome back for the first time of 2024. We are back at you with another Am I Still on the Air? And I'm happy that you're here to join me for one of my favorite episodes that we do all year round. And that is, of course, the top 10 movies of the previous year and our top 10 most anticipated of the current year. So, for the last several years, the three of us have come here and we've gone live and we've talked about what we loved and our honorable mentions and what we're really looking forward to in the new year. So we're going to do it once again. Top 10 movies of 2023 and the top 10 most anticipated of 2024. So welcome to the show once again. My name is DONMEGA. I am your host. And as always, I am joined by the Peeps and the Frigginz. What is going down, guys?
Yo, yo, yo. As always, super excited. And I love this. I look forward to this so much because I could always expect DX has a lot of mainstream in there with a couple stuff that is a little shocking. Frigginz has stuff that no one's heard of that is always shocking. And DX and I always got to get the fuck out of here moment.
Fuck out of here.
And I have crap that's full of like kid stuff that everybody says get the fuck out of here.
He's got the kid movies on lock.
Sure
So
does.
definitely been looking forward to it.
I don't think you guys understand like all year long how much I'm like looking forward to getting a get the fuck out of here. Like I'm what which one is it going to be this year?
Which is it going to be? Yeah.
What movie is going to trigger that response?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also
welcome to the show, guys. Very excited to finally do it. Thanks for everyone being patient. I know it's the end of January. We should have done this thing a couple weeks ago, but as we say, life gets in the way. And so, we tried to make sure we did it before January was up, before we're too deep into 2024. Because right now, I think The Beekeeper is probably the best movie of this year that we got going. So
probably,
as we rock into the new year, but man, excited. So what we'll do here is we will kind of go round table and we will start with some honorable mentions. So we're going to go back to last year. 2023 is in the books. We're going to talk honorable mentions. What were the movies that didn't quite make the top 10, but there were movies that kind of stood out that we really, really enjoyed. And, we'll just talk about what kind of almost edged their way in there. And then, of course, we'll move into our top 10 of that year and let each of us kind of go around. And then once we're done with 2023, we will look ahead to 2024 and we'll do it all over again for what we're anticipating. Because you never know, man. We look back at these lists sometimes and we're like, man, I was so anticipating that movie and whoo, now it's not even in my top 20 of the year. Like looking back on it, we've definitely had some highs and lows there. So but as always,
they don't even come out.
Yeah, exactly. They were still waiting for that Gambit movie.
That's right.
Maybe we'll get Channing this year in a little Marvel movie. So we'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed. As always, these lists are very subjective. Like Peeps kind of set up, right? Like he sees a lot of kid movies, he's got a lot of kids, he's got to go to the kid movies and he enjoys them, right? I see a good handful of kid movies as well with my daughter, and and like you said, like we all have different tastes. Mine is more mainstream, mine's kind of more like from an enjoyment level. I wouldn't say the best films, quote unquote, right? They're not, Oppenheimer, but like they're the movies that I enjoyed the most from a just a loving standpoint that I want to sit at home and throw back on the TV and enjoy it once again. Whereas, Frigginz, he's got that more fine-tuned taste and he likes his Bollywood and he likes his subtitles and his black and white movies,
black and white musicals.
Exactly.
All of that.
He's just all over it. So there you go, man. Just different lists for different folks. So we'll get her going right now, and I'm very excited. So let's start with some honorable mentions. I will kick off honorable mentions here tonight with some ones looking back through the year of 2023, some ones that stood out to me. I'm going to and these are in no particular order. Let me just set that up right there. These are just in general, okay? And I'm all over the place with different genres here. I'm going to start with Knock at the Cabin. This was M. Night Shyamalan's film that came out last year with Dave Bautista. Really interesting movie based on a book and just floored me. I absolutely love this movie. I love just wondering what was going to happen next, and just well directed, well acted, and just a very, very interesting movie. So Knock at the Cabin is there, almost made the top 10. Which one is this? Scream 6. I'm gonna throw out Scream 6. I'm a sucker for these movies, man. Always have since the first movie came out. And this one here, just going to New York City, it was a different kind of vibe. It wasn't just the same little town. They changed it up and loved Jenna Ortega in this one and Melissa Barrera, and just it was just a fun horror movie, man. So just had a blast with this one. Sticking with horror, I'm gonna throw out Saw X. This one really, really shocked me here. When we're 10 movies deep into a franchise, especially something like Saw. And with this one here, we kind of got a backstory with John Kramer and kind of like how he almost became the man he became, and just him getting back at people that have wronged him. And I just thought it had the strongest story of all the movies, and it was just it was a fun ride, man. So that's there. I'm gonna go to The Marvels. I really enjoyed The Marvels. I've watched it again since it come out on VOD. Just a fun, fun flick. My daughter's favorite movie of the year, and just a fun ride in the Marvel universe with 3 awesome leads. Then I'm gonna go to The Iron Claw. This was a movie here that, as a big wrestling fan, I was really intrigued to see the true story about the Von Erichs, and this movie gutted me. It is a sad, sad true story, but so well acted. You got Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. You got Zac Efron in here leading this thing, and I'm shocked now that the Oscar nominations have come out that Zac Efron was not nominated, because he was so amazing in this movie, and just a very it moves you to tears. It hits your emotions, and this movie really stands out to me. So the Iron Claws there. Extraction 2 is my next one here with Chris Hemsworth. This was a Netflix film. I think it's better than the original Extraction film. This movie has like a 23-minute single take action scene that is one of the best action scenes like ever. And just for that segment alone, this movie gets an honorable mention, because
Nice.
that was incredible. It was an amazing fight. Definitely
Totally agree with that.
action
Yep.
of the entire year. So that one stands out. I'm gonna go with Air next. The Ben Affleck directed with Matt Damon, the true story about the Nike Air Jordans. Just a very well acted movie and an incredible story. That when I first heard they were making this movie about damn shoe, I was like, I don't know how this is going to be exciting, and it actually was a really, really standout movie. So if you haven't seen Air, check it out on Prime Video. Next up, I'm gonna go with Blue Beetle. Really enjoyed this one here. Just another
Good one.
fun comic book movie that just took us through with a new character in the DC universe, and I think we'll see more of him in James Gunn's down the road here. Going back to horror, I'm gonna throw out Evil Dead Rise. I really, really enjoyed this one as well too. Man, super violent, super gory. Just I love Evil Dead. I love all these movies, and this one here just had me on pins and needles the entire time. It was a great theatrical experience, and just horror is so hit and miss, and this one definitely was a big hit for me. And then I got 2 more. Just my next one is Tetris. I was kind of late to the party on this one. Watched it way kind of after it came out, and man, it was so good. I mean, what a story about the Nintendo Tetris game. I mean, just learning about the rights and this like Russian stuff, and just people not wanting him. It's crazy how this movie unfolded, and I could not believe that this was the story behind Tetris. So
Wow.
check that one out on Apple TV Plus if you haven't seen that one. And lastly, another one I was a little late to, but caught up right at the end of the year was Blackberry. Loved Blackberry. I have been in the wireless industry for over 20 years. I was there when the BlackBerry launched. I had several units of the BlackBerry, so I was very intrigued to see the true story about this phone and its rise and its fall. And oh my God, what an incredible movie, man! This thing was fantastic. You can stream it on AMC Plus. They also broke it down into like a limited series, so they broke it into like a 3-part mini series if you don't want to watch the movie in one chunk, which is kind of interesting that they did that. But so it's available in 2 formats. But man, I thought this movie was just so fantastic, and definitely another big standout of the year. So that's what I have over on honorable mentions. Frigginz, I'll throw it to you. What do you got, sir?
Well, I will actually pick up where you left off. I did watch. I listened to your podcast, and I heard you praising the BlackBerry movie and the Tetris movie so
Yes.
much. And I know that's not your normal genre. And I thought, well, let me see what let's DX like these types of movies. So I picked those up as well. And I felt the exact same way. Both of those are on my honorable mentions list. Blackberry almost made the top 10. It actually was in the top 10, but I did some restructuring. So yeah, those, based on a true story films is really what
Yeah.
stood out to me a lot this year. And I found a lot of those ended up being in my honorable mentions. I have Gran Turismo, which for some reason I think like the theater experience really helped me on that one, because the whole theater was like jamming out, like people were dancing in the theaters, people were cheering, clapping. It was wild, but it just made it so much more fun. Flamin' Hot was a streamer. That one
That's a
is
good one.
that's so fun, and it's based on the Cheeto stuff. Sound of Freedom was another one that, while it has a lot of controversy behind it, touching on very difficult topics, and but also being an entertaining film to watch, and also another interesting historical moment, I guess, where they were like doing this thing where you could buy people a ticket to see this movie so they could get more people to go watch it, to spread the point of what they were presenting in this film. So kind of an interesting again, kind of moment in history, I guess, for cinematography stuff, or cinema stuff. Sorry. I am a sucker for military movies, so The Covenant was actually like at the top of my list for a very long time.
I'm surprised that ain't your top 10.
Me
the way you
too.
bragged about that movie.
Me too.
It was on there for a while, but we had a pretty strong ending at the end of the year. So that dropped down to the honorable mentions. I also did have
movie. I get it. Yeah.
yeah, that's actually a lot of fun.
Well, you know what? I should have thrown that on my honorable mention. I loved Wonka. So
I did
I
too.
totally spaced that one for some reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice throw.
Cocaine Bear was a blast. Again, another like theater experience where like I didn't even really want to see it, but it was just everyone was laughing so much. And then I have a couple movies that I think might be on your list, so maybe I'll hold off on those. One of which is a Marvel movie that I'm gonna get yelled at about. Another is, but one thing there's two more that I'll kind of close out and then pass on here. One, I am a sucker for Hindi movies. I am all about that Bollywood. And this year on Netflix, we got The Archies. So you take Archie's storyline and throw in some Hindi amazing songs and dance scenes, and I was just eating it up. I absolutely love that. The songs in that movie are still beating in my head.
I have so much freaking fun in those movies. It's like you can't help but just like soak up that enjoyment.
Exactly. And then I also
this isn't Archie and Veronica, right? Like this ain't Riverdale like Archie.
Yeah, no, it is Archie.
Is it really?
Veronica, it's Betty. It's all
Betty,
of them.
Veronica.
Yep,
what?
Yep. It's
Okay,
amazing.
okay.
It's really good, and I like that it's like historically set in like an older time frame. So it just captured everything, and it's a feel good movie. Like I was smiling the whole time, and it ends and just was in a better mood. So do recommend checking that one out. Again, there's a couple really good songs that really stand out there. And the last honorable mention I'll throw out was The Hunger Games, with the longest title in the world, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I always struggle to think on that one. That one was also in my top 10 for a while and just kind of barely got edged out. But I'm not a huge Hunger Games fan, but that one, I really liked it. I think I liked it more than the original Hunger Games, which I know is going to be problematic for a lot of people, but but I really like
deserve to be an honorable mention.
I like the cast. It's great. But anyway, those are most of the honorable mentions that I wanted to throw out there. So I'm sure again, some of the ones that might be on your top 10 were only on my honorable mentions, but I'll get to that later.
All right, peeps. You got anything extra? I know you probably were sponging to get 10. So do you have?
Nah.
You have any honorable mentions?
I actually had a really strong year for the majority of the year, and then towards the end, I don't know what happened. Like you said in the beginning, life, and I fell off. I don't know what it was. I think I know what it was, but I don't know what it is. Anyways, my honorable mentions might be actually on your guys' list, so I apologize. The number one I'll go ahead and throw out where I'll say, it's funny because I have another movie on my list that literally counters the reason why this is an honorable mention, but it's actually Godzilla -1. Being like the Godzilla fan that I am, like this should be literally like on my top 3 movies, but I don't know, man. It's not, because it is not what the type of Godzilla movie that I enjoy. It's very true to Godzilla, especially when when Godzilla starts, or the very first Godzilla movie. And it is a phenomenal movie on many aspects, like very high rating also that I gave this movie. But because I'm like on team on team side, where I want to see like Godzilla fighting other monsters and kind of protecting people, it's a stupid reason, I know, but for that I give it an honorable mention. If you haven't seen it, go watch this movie. It is freaking amazing. It hits you in places you never thought a Godzilla will hit you. It's a really good movie. Another one, like you said, DX, was Evil Dead Rise. Was actually on my list for a minute, but just got pushed out eventually. And yeah, it a really good movie. Nothing wrong with it. Of course, it has some issues, but like really, really amazing movie. Another honorable mention is Transformers, Beast Wars, Beast Transformers.
Rise of the Beast.
There you go.
Rise of the Beast.
Yep. Again, amazing movie. I took my kids to see it. They had moments where they're like, "Oh my god," and they're excited, and their excitement's getting me excited because I knew that part was going to happen, and we're just like high-fiving. It was a blast watching it with you guys, and then watching it again with my kids. It was such a good time.
I had that on my honorable mentions as well. I thought it was going to be on your final list, so that's why I didn't bring it up.
Another one that got pushed out. And I don't know, does Megan count?
Yeah, like Megan counts, came out in January.
Okay,
2023.
Another movie that was on my list forever, and probably should still be, but I think I kind of forgot that it wasn't technically a 2023 movie. But I love Megan for a lot of reasons. There's like one thing I don't like about it, but I love Megan. The Super Mario movie, another movie that I took my kids to. We had a blast. We laugh about. We still quote not just the song that everybody sings, and I'm not going to get it in everybody's head right now. But there's a lot of funny parts in that movie. And yeah, it was a good time. And last shout out that I will still stick with is a movie that I had a blast with, so do my kids. And I wish this movie would have done better than what it was. And that was the second Shazam movie, the something Gods. Yes, had issues, but like overall had a great time. Had the one scene that just still, like, I'm just thinking about it, and it's so freaking stupid and funny, and I loved it. So I don't know, like, honorable mention for me for that Shazam movie. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, this year, man, I don't know about you guys, but like of my anticipated movies that I had for 2023, I have like 3 movies that actually made it onto my overall list from that anticipation. I had a lot of disappointments this year. So it was a little rough for me, and there's other movies that I've been wanting to see that I haven't, like Gran Turismo, oh gosh, like Joyride, I didn't see Missing or Scream, so a handful of movies I really wanted to see that wasn't able to, but it is what it is. So
you got me thinking, and I looked it up, and I actually also had 3 of the most anticipated is all that made it on my final list. So interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna make me have to go back.
I can read them off to you whenever you want.
Let's see. Most anticipated. Yeah. No, yeah. I don't want to give it away, but
you don't want to give it away. We good.
Yeah, it's a good split there.
Right.
Okay. I'm shocked, Peeps. I several of the films you named, I thought for sure were going to be in your top 10. So definitely very interesting. Yeah. All right, guys, that's honorable mentions. Let's get into the meat here. The top 10 of 2023. Once again, subjective, right? So
you guys remember that. You guys remember that. You're always telling me how crazy I am.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, they deserve.
Sometimes.
So sometimes it's just a part of the gig, All right, let's get into it. So we'll stay in the same rotation here. I'll get us going here with some popular films. The films that, just like I said, from an enjoyment level, really like. And once again, I'm going to preface, because I don't want anybody twisting it that it's like, man, that's not how you gonna like that over that. And it's like, again, it's from an enjoyment level, man. Whether I laughed, I cried, I cheered, I applauded, just how I felt about it from a fun factor. That's why I go to the movies, to have a great time. Obviously, there's a difference there between, what I kind of consider, a top to me at the end of the year is the movies that stuck with me really in my head that I had a fun time with, not just, the movies that were 90% or higher on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm gonna start things off with one that I wish would have done better because I laughed my ass off. And this was one of the best comedies I have seen in years, and it deserved more love, and that is Strays. Strays was amazing. And this one here was the movie with the little dogs, and they talked and they were vulgar and they were perverted, and it was amazing. Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx. Oh man, this is streaming now on Peacock, man. If you haven't seen it yet, get on it. This movie had me in tears. It is one of the funniest movies I've seen in years, hands down the funniest movie of 2023. And it, petered out kind of at the box office, and it's unfortunate because they went for it here. Like a lot of comedies lately try to stay very PG. They try to stay away from being politically incorrect. Strays did not, and I appreciated that. And that comes in at number 10 for me. Coming in number 9, I'm going to go with Creed 3. Absolutely love the Creed franchise. Michael B. Jordan, this one here, he who shall not be named. Can we talk about him anymore?
I
King,
think we can.
Jonathan Majors in here.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but he was amazing in this movie, man. Just, I love the story with this one. Best friends growing up, falling out, getting back together, and then one wanting what the other one had. And this movie was badass. And I love this franchise. I love this movie. And looking back at the year, this is one of the ones that just stood out for me. So Creed 3 coming in number 9. Number 8, I'm going to roll with Barbie. I was very shocked with this movie here, and ended up having a blast with this film. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling as Ken. Ryan just killing me in this movie. Just so good. Wonderfully directed. I could take out the Will Ferrell shit. Like, I think that's kind of where the movie goes a little sideways. But overall, the movie is hilarious from start to finish and has just a great message, and all the side characters are great, and all the cameos are amazing, and the songs, and just this movie deserved everything it got this year, and it was a really, really great film. So Barbie slides in at number 8. Coming in number 7, me typically, I don't put the cartoons in here, but looking back at the year, I couldn't hold it out. I'm gonna go with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This one here almost went with the honorable mention on it just because of it being a cartoon, but I'm gonna give it its due this year, guys. I'm gonna give it its due. It made the top 10. I couldn't go much higher because, again, it is just an animated movie. I'm sorry.
That means a lot, Don. It does.
Baby steps.
Honestly, that's big for you. That's big for you.
Yeah.
This is a great movie. I mean, there's no doubt on what it is. I love this film. I bought it the day it came out. It's in the collection. I can't wait for the third one. This one here, just a wonderfully crafted movie, beautifully animated, and just deserves to be in the top 10. So that's at number 7. Some of you gonna laugh at this one here, but hey, man, again, I'm a sucker for these films. So coming in at number 6, it's Fast X, baby, because we family and we gonna ride till we die. So get ready. This movie was fucking awesome. I love this film. Jason Momoa steals the show.
He does. He did steal the show.
Dante. He was a great villain. We had some great action. Sure. Alan Richson pops up in this one. Brie Larson. They got some great people added to the cast here. It ends on a cliffhanger. I'm pissed that I don't have the second one already. And you know what, man? Like I said, I've been with this franchise since day one. As crazy as it gets, as stupid as it gets, and as over the top as it gets, I will ride with it till the wheels fall off. Yes, I know it. We all know it. It's the inside joke. But man, these movies are fun, and I fucking love it. Guilty pleasure. Sue me. I'm gonna do it. So
I'm honestly surprised that it wasn't higher. No joke.
Yeah.
Wow.
But hey, man, you know.
Wow.
Coming in at number 5, this is, Transformers: Rise of the Beast, baby. So,
Right.
Peeps talked about it earlier. I mean, what a fun time. I took my daughter to see this one. It was the same thing. She was kinda like, "I don't know if I'm gonna wanna watch this," and she hadn't seen any of the other Transformers. Oh, she saw Bumblebee, but she was little when Bumblebee came out, so, this was kind of a fresh reintroduction to Transformers, and she absolutely loved this movie, which made me even more stoked on it. And just it was hilarious, man. Pete Davidson was just killing me with the
Raj.
one-liners. The action was incredible. I loved just the way that they did this one. It was such a nice blend of kind of what they did with Bumblebee, but then also kind of the Michael Bay, and just kind of gave us a nice little mix, because I felt as great as Bumblebee was, we always talked about how it was a little kiddie, like it was very ET-ish of the Transformers, like to kind of
Yeah.
appeal to the littler kids, and then Michael Bay ones were kind of adult. So this one was a perfect blend of kind of the two sides to kind of give us something unique. And we got that GI Joe tease at the end, and I'm hoping
Heck
it pays off
yeah.
down the road. So yeah, Transformers: Rise of the Beast at number 5. Coming in number 4 for me is The Flash. I had a blast with this movie. I absolutely loved The Flash. It was hilarious. It made me cry. I mean, just like the stuff with him and his mother. I mean, I lost my mom like 6 years ago, so seeing him have to
That
get her
was
back and then let her go again, it hit me hard. Obviously, having Michael Keaton back as Batman, I mean, just so nostalgic,
Amazing.
getting that
fair.
back. I mean, that's the Batman we grew up on, and
It's
and
fair.
having him in this, and with the multiverse, and just getting to say goodbye to Ben Affleck's Batman, and just they did so many different things. Um, yeah, there's different things that I wish they would have tweaked, or they would have added or took out. But overall, I had a blast with this film. I saw it a couple times in theater. I bought it when it came out, watched it again at home. It's just a really fun movie, man, and I had a blast with it. So The Flash comes in at number 4. Coming in number 3, I'm gonna go with Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Nice.
I love the Mission Impossible franchise, and this one is no different. Ethan Hunt back again, and crazy stuff. Haley Atwell joining the cast on this one, and boy, did
Great
my heart
addition.
flutter along the road of, having Haley Atwell in this one. Every time she's on screen, I'm just like, I don't even know what was going on in the scene. But, she this movie, just the action again, incredible. They know how to make these movies that continue to just get better and better and better. And, I saw this one a couple times in the theater. This was definitely one that had replay value. It just hit Paramount Plus a couple days ago, so if you haven't seen it yet, you can check it out now streaming. But man, I love this. I can't wait for part 2, which I know is not going to be called Dead Reckoning Part 2 anymore, but it's gonna, in essence, this still kind of was a cliffhanger ending. So I can't wait to see where it takes us. Unfortunately, it got pushed due to the strike, so it won't be out this year. It'll be 2025, but bet your ass it'll be on that anticipated list for sure. Coming in at number 2, John Wick Chapter 4. Absolutely loved this movie. So this movie was badass. It was almost 3 hours long, and man, it flew by. The action just doesn't let up. I think Keanu Reeves is still falling down those stairs
Yeah,
at
right now.
uh, from that movie. I think he's gotten up a couple times, and he's still rolling down those stairs.
Oh,
But
wow.
man, just these movies, it's the same thing, man. You got the first movie, and you were like, man, that's incredible. And then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and it's just they get bigger and they get better, and they're just such amazing action movies. And yeah, there was no doubt that this was going to be in that top 10, man. So absolutely loved John Wick, baby.
I'm gonna
Chapter 4
piss
at
you
number
off real
2.
quick because
Oh
I just
god.
wanted to say I totally forgot that movie came out this year.
Come on,
Wow.
Fred.
I know. I'm sorry, John. Sorry,
Interesting.
John Wick.
Jesus. So would that have slid in anywhere? Come on, Fred.
No, no, no. It's not even
No, not even an honorable mention?
not even in the top 20. Yeah,
Wow,
Interesting.
yeah.
you fucking crazy. That movie's so good.
How many black and white
Uh,
movies did you watch?
yeah. He's like, "It's no Archie."
Yeah, seriously.
Jesus Christ. All right, and coming in at number 1, it is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think there was no doubt here. I didn't think anything was gonna overtake this one here. I love the Guardians movies, love the MCU. This, of course, was the last one James Gunn was doing. This was kind of a goodbye to the group as we knew it. We knew, Zoe Saldana was going away, and Dave Bautista was going away, and it was like, how are they gonna wrap this up, and what kind of story are we gonna get? we thought people were gonna die in this movie, and not only did no one die, they still managed to make us all bawl at the end of this film as they said their goodbyes. And this is a movie, man, that is just has an incredible story, incredible villain, incredible action. I still think that hallway scene with the No Sleep Till Brooklyn of them fighting down that shaft just with the team in slow mo and everything is just one of the best comic book scenes of all time. Absolutely love it. This was an amazing goodbye, and hopefully we see these characters again in some other iteration. But man, what an incredible movie! I think I saw this 3 times in the theater when it was out. Bought it, of course, with a collection when it came out on VOD, and man, just blew me away. So it was an easy slot in at that number 1 spot, and then everything else kind of built in around it. So to recap, number 10, Strays, number 9, Creed 3, number 8, Barbie, number 7, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, number 6, Fast X, number 5, Transformers Rise of the Beast, number 4, The Flash, number 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, number 2, John Wick Chapter 4, and number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So there you go, man. We'll pass on over to you, Frigginz. What you got?
All right, man. Well, great list. I don't have Guardians of the Galaxy in my top 10. I'm going to throw that out here right now. That was one that I was holding off on for honorable mention. Pat, it is a great movie. I mean, it really is. But like you mentioned with the
biggest
Iron
Guardians fan right there. This guy don't even got the movie in his top
Guardians
10.
1 is like my second favorite movie all time. But yeah, it was just a little too sad. But that's not what we're here
You
for.
sound like my daughter.
That's literally what my son
She's
said.
like,
that's funny.
Yeah. My daughter's like, heartbreak does not feel good in a place like this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
she's like, it's too sad. Fast forward through all these parts.
yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Well, but we're here for my top 10, and I'm gonna start. My number 10 is actually another sci-fi. It cost way less than The Flash and way less than Guardians of the Galaxy, and somehow managed to have some of the best CGI throughout the year. And that movie is The Creator. I am all about a sci-fi world. I'm like in this like super sci-fi cyberpunk kind of vibe right now anyway, and it just had like everything that I was wanting. I really liked the story, the action, and the world. Like this is a like this could be a franchise for me, and seeing other stories being told in this universe would be really fun. So really, I mean, what else to say about it?
Guardians? Bro.
Yeah, I actually would say overall, and The Creator's not perfect either. Like, don't get me wrong. Like when we walked out, like I had complaints. I was like, well, this didn't make sense, and they didn't even touch on this. But it was the whole experience of it was much better. Now let's get a little into some of those, Oscar-y type of movies, because for my number 9, I have a movie called Past Lives. I knew nothing about this movie. I saw a trailer for it randomly in some other movie, and I thought, that looks like something I'll go see. But no one would go watch it with me, and I had to go in the theater. So I'm sitting here in the theater by myself watching this movie, and it was a wonderful experience. If you haven't seen, watch the trailer. It's a really cool, I want to say romantic story, but it's not really. It's a very real life story about romance over long distances and many years passing, former romance, and how that interrupts with new romance or relationships rather. And it's just really good. It also has a lot of cool cinematography, amazing scenes that just sit there with background noise of birds chirping or whatever, and you just kind of get to linger there for a moment. It was gorgeous film. Number 8 for me is The Holdovers. This is a Paul Giamatti film and a very almost like closed room situation. There's the school and all the students leave except for the troublemaker ones, and they're stuck with Paul Giamatti and this lady that is the lunch lady. And you kind of almost really get those 3 characters interacting for the majority of the film just with the 3 of them. And my experience with this was very interesting because it's a Christmas movie. I saw it during Christmas. It came out on Peacock, so I don't have Peacock. And I like rushed over to my parents' house and I'm like, can we watch this movie? And knowing that my dad like typically hates these kinds of movies, and they're like, sure. So he put this movie on, have hot chocolate in Christmas, watching it that takes place during Christmas. And it was just like a really cool family experience. And I don't know, I think it also made me like the movie a little more. Well, then that will take us to number 7, where I will say I get a little back into the realm of just, crazy, stupid, silly action. And that we go diving into Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I am a Dungeons and Dragons nerd. It's probably one of the most obvious ones that's going to be on my list. But the trailer did not sell me at all. When the trailer came out, I was like, this movie is going to be terrible. And kind of what you're saying about Stray Zone is like, I couldn't stop laughing through this movie. It was more of a comedy action for me. I really got into the characters. I thought Chris Pine's good in almost anything he does. So it was really easy to kind of fall into it. And what I love about it is it doesn't rely on D&D knowledge to be a good movie. So even someone who doesn't watch these types of or know this type of lore could still enjoy it and have fun with the movie. At least at bare minimum, I think it's still a fun time. Bringing me to number 6 now. This one, I try and talk about this movie to everybody, and it's like nobody knows about it. And it's this movie that came out on Apple Plus. It's called Flora and Son. This again is more of one of those Oscar-y type movies where it deals with a smaller kind of cast and just a few people, kind of more dialogue centered. But you have a mom who's kind of a wreck, and her son who's this close to being put into juvenile prison because he keeps getting in trouble. And she gets him this guitar and wants him to kind of do something productive, and he's like, "Nah, screw you. I don't mess with guitars. I do electrical beats." And then so she signs up for a guitar class with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Sean is falling asleep here, but I'm telling you, it is super fun.
It's
And
exactly what Sean showed you.
I know. It's not like swipe friendly where you get something new every 5 seconds that you get from movies like those cartoon animated stuff that you like. It was great. And by the end of it, like I had like happy tears. I found myself like really enjoying like the whole watching experience, and it made me have a better appreciation for music, I think. So I would recommend it if you're into the slower type movies. My number 5 was on Sean's honorable mention, and that is Godzilla -1. I am the exact opposite of what Sean was saying he was, and that I am not a Godzilla person. So where he is, and that's why he didn't like it, I am not, and I think that's why I liked it. It gave me more of just this beast, this nature, this just thing that comes and interrupts everything else that was going on in these people's lives, and they were already going through a very traumatic instance and in dealing with the after effects of World War II. So it was, what I liked about it was the people's interactions and the stories and what they were going through, and kind of seeing them, especially the main character, kind of progressing through his life, and then how they deal with this force of nature coming in and just wreaking havoc.
The guy that says Guardians of the Galaxy is too sad to enjoy says that Godzilla -1 is better than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Absolutely. I thought so. It was, and it has I felt it had a good ending. So
he's turning into a Godzilla. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's awesome. But that was my number 5. Now, my top 4 is where I really, really struggled, because my number 4 could easily be my number 2. My number 2 could easily be my number 4. Those I flip-flopped back and forth a lot. But at the end of the day, I put American Fiction at number 4. This one is up for Oscars, and Jeffrey Wright better win like everything that he can, because this was an absolutely phenomenal film. I was engaged the whole time, and it has everything. It's got drama, it's got sadness, it's got happiness, it's got comedy.
Robots?
Okay, it doesn't have everything.
I didn't even think I'd put this movie on until this list this year. because it didn't go
What?
wide until January.
Doesn't
It
matter. It's
was
a
very, very
2023 movie.
limited for December. I don't care.
2023
That
movie.
shit was in like 3 theaters last year. Fucking come on.
And
The
that's the
general
problem
public did
with
not
like
see it
the
until this month.
Oscars. I hate that the Oscars come out in January because that happens. And it's so hard
Yep.
to get to watch these movies. And where does it fall? Does it truly fall in the 23? Does it truly fall in the 24? And trying to figure that out. And so, if you're lucky enough to have been able to get a theater to watch it, then great. But right now it is playing in theaters, and I would highly recommend people see it because again, it's got a little bit of everything except for robots and zombies and monsters
Ninjas?
and wait, no, there wasn't ninjas. But there, it's entertaining as hell, and it's well acted, and it also tugs at the heartstrings. So I trying to open up my letterbox because it just closed. All right, my number 3, we're going into animation world, and DX again. I know it's not your jam, but let me throw out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. I didn't expect this movie to hit me as hard as it did. I was completely shocked. I knew I was gonna like it, but like the animation style was so unique. The music choices were incredibly amazing. Like I wouldn't have thought of any of those songs being tied in to a Ninja Turtles thing. And this really interesting way to where they made all the mutants look super cool and they made the humans look so ugly. And I think that there was like a lot of comparison to what their story elements were saying in that decision to do so. The acting was great. I remember reading the cast and being like, why do they have all these kids? And I was like, oh yeah, they're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like they always make them older. So I thought it worked really, really well. And I love that every turtle got moments to shine. Even in the fight montages, how they had like the individual sections. So much fun. Definitely one of my favorite movies of the year and landing in my number 3 spot. So number 2, and again, this could have easily flipped with American Fiction, is the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Oops, never mind. Now it's no longer Part 1.
Hold on.
Yes.
Sorry, please continue. No, I just got really excited right now. Hold on.
Continue. Okay. I know Mission Impossible is the only movie that I saw in the theater more than once this year. I haven't been doing a lot of rewatches in theater unless it like really speaks to me. And the thing about this one and Ninja Turtles is that it tugs on those nostalgia strings, right? Like it's things that I've liked for a long period of time. The Ninja Turtles since I was a kid, Mission Impossible since I was a teenager. So this franchise just continues to get bigger and better and bigger and better as it moves along. And I just love all the crazy stunts that Tom does, and the action is great. And Haley Atwell, like you mentioned, I remember thinking, why is she not in more movies right now? She's so cool.
Yes. Preach.
But
she needs an MCU movie. I want to see it.
I would watch that. I would definitely watch that. And that brings me to my number 1, which did make your list, Don, but it was much lower on your list, and that is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That was by far the best movie for me through the year. It captured nostalgia. It captured showing me new things that I didn't ever think I would see. Amazing animation style. Voice acting was through the roof. Music, again, kind of like similar things that we talked about with the Ninja Turtles, but just taking it to that next level, and quite the emotional roller coaster. You can't help but get teary-eyed, and so many of the scenes in that film, it was just beautiful, and it continues the pattern from the first one of making me feel like I am watching a piece of art, and it truly made me feel that this was artistic. So, we got our buddy Esternator in the chat. He's saying, say it louder for those in the back. And yes, Spider-Man number 1. So yes, that's my top 10. And to do like Don did, I'll do a quick little recap here. So number 10, The Creator. Number 9, Past Lives. Number 8, The Holdovers. Number 7, Dungeons and Dragons. Number 6, Flora and Son. Number 5, Godzilla -1. Number 4, American Fiction. Number 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. Number 2, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And number 1, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Interesting as always. Thank you, Frigginz.
It was my pleasure.
Flora and Son in the top 10. Goddamn.
It's amazing.
All
One
right.
of the best
Yeah.
experiences.
Get the fuck out of here.
There it is.
All right. Peeps, what you got? I'm excited to see what he's got for his top 10 of 2023.
Yeah. I definitely got some sillies. I'm not gonna lie, but just want to say also real quick that I haven't seen Strays. So there's only 5 movies from the combination of both of you guys' lists that I haven't seen. So that's a big shock to me.
There you go.
That Strays, The Creator, The Holdovers, American Fiction, and Past Lives, all movies that are definitely I've wanted to see. Especially American Fiction. That one seemed kind of silly. Yeah. Or
so
good. It looks good.
Interesting. So all right. Man, and I was thinking too, I was like, I want to comment on everybody's list, but I'm not gonna do that. So because y'all ain't gonna be able to do that on mine. So let me go and start at number 10. And I think the majority of my movies all of you guys have, but there's a pretty good chunk that aren't. So starting with one that's on Frigginz, that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think it's probably for the same reason that it's on Frigginz. This movie, I would never be a good like Siskel and Ebert kind of movie review personality, because sometimes nostalgia just takes over, and if the movie could be bad, but if the movie gives me the member berries or the feels that I am expecting and I want from it, then like fuck it. It's like this is like best movie of all time. And the Ninja Turtles, it did this thing where it gave me everything I wanted. It changed stuff. It changed elements of the story that normally Frigginz and I would sit and be like, how are they going to change this part of the Ninja Turtles? The Ninja Turtles have always learned ninjutsu from their ninja master that is but in this one, they're like, they learned it from a book. But like the way that they did it and they made it silly and in this fun world, it's like, I don't care, because they did it in such a fun way that change didn't really matter to me. I'm like, fine. Who cares about Orokusaki, I think is his name. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. I don't care. I had a lot of fun with Ninja Turtles. Love the art. The little moment, there's moments in the movie where you can tell the kids are kind of like ad-libbing and just kind of doing some stupid Gen X moments with each other, and it's just like it's a fun movie, which is what I feel like Ninja Turtles should be. My kids loved it, and it's just one of those things when I take a movie and myself and my kids are having the same level of enjoyment, I'm like, mission accomplished. There's movies like American Kraken, stupid teenager Kraken, that I'm just like, please shoot me in the face. And then my kids are like, Dad, if you shoot me in the face first, I'll shoot you in the face. I'm like, why are we here? But I don't know. I digress. So that's my number 10. Number 9, a movie, Haunted Mansion, that I don't think should be. I know.
Wow.
Oh no, Frigate. Peeps
Get
is
the
about to get
fuck
a
out of here.
out of here.
I'll take it.
Wow.
I'll take it.
Movie
I'll
sucked
take
ass.
I'll take it.
Jeez.
I enjoyed this movie because they I keep forgetting the main actor's name.
That dude is awesome. He needs to be in more things.
And he is. I swear he's in like 7 movies a year. But yeah,
I know. I'm saying he needs to be even
Stanfield. I agree.
He was great. Yeah. Stanfield. He was good.
Him in this movie, they threw that moment with him and his wife that he had lost, and that was
Exactly.
like that was like the cream filling of the movie that kind of continued throughout the whole film, and that piece of it was so beautifully done. And even to the very end of the movie, where they have the whole what was it like, they talked to us through the afterlife, and the cat, it had the same name of something that like that was so beautiful.
Trying to block it out.
I thought it was a very beautiful moment. I was cracking up with Danny DeVito and Owen Wilson, and it was a silly movie, and they didn't even shove like the whole love interest thing like I kind of thought that they would do. And I don't know, man, like I had a good time with the movie, and so did my kids. So because of that, I enjoyed it more than the movies that I saw this year. So Haunted Mansion, it gets my number my number 9 slot.
You need to see more movies.
Only go uphill from
Sure.
here, right?
Let me see. Okay, number 8. Horror movie that kicked Evil Dead out of the running, and that was the Boogeyman.
Oh my god.
He just walked off. I love it.
I'm okay
It
with
wasn't
it.
me.
I'm
It
okay
wasn't
with
me
the
this
guy that
time.
puts
The
trash
movie was
Fast X.
horrible.
Okay, Fast X. I don't want to
Horrible.
hear anything. And same
It's
thing
funny.
with whatever.
The Boogeyman was so bad.
I
You
didn't
had it
think
above
so.
Evil Dead? Oh,
Yes.
bro.
Yes.
I would like to know
did.
what you liked about it. I didn't see it, so
No.
You didn't miss. It's on Hulu. You can watch.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I thought that it was it had some actually like scary moments. Like I legitimately jumped in the movie a few times. Like it was scary. It had this again, this overarching thing of like a death that had happened in the family, and that kind of carries on to the end of the movie where, like, you know, it actually there's a reason for that setup in the beginning of the movie. And yeah, and it gives us a monster that they explain, but they don't really explain. They throw a lot of theories, and yeah, it's a creature that exists that we don't really know why it's there. Is it the only one? Are there more like it? Like, I don't know. And there's a lot of mystery around that piece of it. But like I said, I thought it was legitimately like a scary movie. So
I think it's better when they don't explain stuff. So that at least sounds really cool.
and they like, oh, this thing has been around since the beginning of time. How do you know that? Like,
Yeah.
like for real, like, come on. And so yeah, it was, and it's and I like it a lot. So all right, number 7. We'll go to another movie that's in Friggin's top 10, and for the same reason, and it's actually the same movie of Friggin's, and I love when we do this. But Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
I echo 100% everything that Friggin said. I will disagree though about the marketing of this movie. I will say in the beginning there was stuff I'm just like, eye roll, it's just going to be another Dungeons and Dragons movie. But there was that they released a moment where they were doing the talk to dead spell, and I'm like, that is the dumbest thing that, because like it's moments that normal Dungeons and Dragons players would have. It was great, it was funny, they did it perfect, and
Yes.
yeah, it was a good time to the very end of the movie where I did not see myself actually getting emotional with this
Right.
absolutely beautiful scene between two of the characters that, like, it was in front of us the entire time, but then when they kind of mesh it together and be like, this is what it really is, it was so beautiful. And they don't even have to jam the character romance in there. It's like,
Yeah.
they are just a family of like friends, and it was so beautiful, so well done. Nice little Easter egg with the original Dungeons and Dragons cartoon in there that got me excited. So yeah, man, real good time. Love that movie a lot, and I really hope to see more of that. I don't know if it will, but you know, I think it did pretty well, right? No,
Okay,
It
I
did
think.
okay. Yeah, it underperformed, but it wasn't like a complete bomb.
Yeah. A movie on my list that didn't make Friggins, and you know, don't give me shit, but the Flora and Son makes it over this movie on Friggins, so you know, whatever. But that is the 40-minute stair scene movie, John Wick 4. A
Yes,
series that I loved the first one. I liked the second one, and I thought the third one was okay. So I wasn't super excited about watching John Wick 4, but watching it, I'm just like, what are they going to do? There's no way they can come up with new exciting fights. And then I've heard some people say, I'm not going to say any names, but I never thought I'd watch a movie and say that, wow, this is too much action. I also agree with that.
I know who would say
statement.
something like that.
I also agree with that statement, and I've never said it, and I still won't say it.
No, never enough.
I think that person must be very smart, very handsome, very knows the movies perfectly.
You're assuming it's
Yeah.
but
Once
yeah,
again,
man.
Flora and Son was above this movie.
I
It's that good.
and I will say too, and this is where a lot of the film folks that like to focus and break down movies can go into, but the last scene with the stairs, and as much as we like to kind of joke about it, like I think that it meant like it's his journey, like he is trying to get to the end and find some actual closure to this whole I don't know how many years. It's this probably the whole John Wick series probably takes place in a matter of like 2 months
like
or
2
something.
weeks. Yeah.
But like it was a great representation of him getting so close to the end of the journey to have to like get to a point where it feels like he has to start over again, but he just has this drive and this passion to see it through, to just get up and continue on despite I don't know how many holes he had in his body at this point and how many potential bones are broken, but he still pushed himself physically beyond. Yeah, he again at fast X levels of superhuman abilities, but like was great even to the very end. I love Donnie Yen. Every time Donnie Yen is in the thing, I get excited. Like it's fucking Donnie Yen. It's the Iron Monkey. And yeah, I don't know. I love that. So yeah, John Wick 4, a great movie and a great close to a story for a character, I would think. And I don't know, but kind of left it open for more fun, maybe, possibly. We'll see.
Yeah. Money talks. It'll be back.
Back that truck up, right? That truck of money.
Yeah, it made the most money of all of them, so I think he's not dead.
I still think the owner of the Continental is his dad, so I'm gonna just leave it there. Anyways, Winston, number 5 is this is the movie where I say I'm going to be contradicting myself because it is a movie that I wasn't there watching it and like loving it. There was no nostalgia, there was no excitement, there was no action, there was nothing. But at the end of the movie, I said to myself, like, this is an amazing movie. This is a well done movie. That the amount of celebrities that were in this movie that I didn't even know were in the movie popping up was amazing. The whole bit I thought was a cinema masterpiece, and that is Oppenheimer. And I want to give this movie its credit because it was a fantastic movie. And as Frigginz will say, this is a Oscar-y movie. And for that Oscar-y reason, this is how you say it, Fred. We say Oscar-y or whatever. I am giving this movie its due diligence, and I am putting it on my list as my number 5 because it is a fantastic movie. Fred, Schindler's List was a sad movie. That doesn't mean it's not a good movie.
I know there were other. We have a whole episode of Guardians of the Galaxy where I express my other issues.
Yes, yeah, he didn't have his mask. All right. Anyways, moving on. There were too many furries. All right, my number 4, I think is on both of your guys' list. A movie I did not expect to like at all. Mission Impossible 4. I've been disappointed a lot this year with movies.
Impossible 4.
Mission
the 7th
Impossible.
one.
It's like my number 4. It's my number 4. Mission Impossible was it 7?
Mission Impossible 4. All right.
Yeah. But no, the
Dead Reckoning.
I almost said Rogue One.
Oh my Lord.
Dead Reckoning. So yeah.
Is number 4.
A movie that I was not expecting to like, but this freaking movie blew me away with its practical effects. And it's funny, we had watched Indiana Jones very like recent to that movie, like maybe a week before, and then we watched this movie and I'm like, here we go, car chase in the city. I think even Fast X had a car chase in the city. Here we go, but the
same city,
like,
same spot,
same stairs.
And this movie did it so well. Like, I love the chase in this movie. I'm like, I don't want this to end. Like, keep it going. And even with its like Ultron-esque villain of like AI and throwing that into all the stuff that I think people are talking about today, I thought it was interesting. And with Mission Impossible being a realistic, kind of world, but to throw this also potentially realistic threat into it I thought it was really fun. And I am very much looking forward to what comes next with it, which I did not expect. So I definitely want to give this movie as props. Mission Impossible Not 4 on my number 4 was my movie. So my number 3 was a movie that was on DX's list and not Friggin's, and that is Creed 3. Why Creed 3 is so high on my list is I was expecting this to be a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed Creed. I didn't think I was going to like Creed 1 as much as I did. I actually think I like Creed 2 more than Creed 1 for a few reasons that I've talked to Frigginz about. And it's stupid. I'm like telling Frigginz why I like this movie, and I'm getting why I like Creed 2, and I'm getting like teary, just talking about it. It was a beautiful, beautiful movie. And then this movie, I think, just takes it even further. And there's many layers and many reasons why I love this movie. I'll say, like, I love the relationship with him and his wife. It is that perfect kind of dream, I think, scenario where you see and there's a lot of flaws in it too. Like, you see, him lashing out on her. So like, it's not perfect, but it's realistically perfect, and how she balances him and he balances her. I love their dynamic with Tessa Thompson and Michael B. Jordan. That it's so good. I loved he who may not be spoken of, Jonathan Majors. He was a great villain, and I even love the way the movie ends, where like we hate each other. We've had so much bad blood over the past couple of months, and then it just kind of ends with this like mutual respect kind of thing. That two, I don't know. I mean, that's like a dude thing, right? Like, generally, if you have a problem with the dude, you guys, I cannot. Like, my best friend for like 20 years, we met because we got in a big fight. We fought each other, and then afterwards, he had to come over and apologize, and we became best friends after that. Like, it's just what dudes do. We fight it out, and then we're like cool. And like, I really love that moment at the end of the movie. The anime elements of Michael B. Jordan, his directorial debut, right? Isn't this like one of his first movies? Or
this is his debut.
And then the moment when like the audience disappears and it's just the two of them to show like I'm not here for them, I'm not here for the show, I'm not here for the money, I'm here for you. And it was such a good movie, dude. I love Creed 3. Anytime people say, "Where should I go?" So you better fucking go. Like, and I pick them up and I start walking to the video rental store to watch it on the TVs that they have there.
The video rental store.
Were you trying to say theater? Like,
nah.
Run down to your local Blockbuster, guys.
Yeah.
Check it out. They'll have it playing. Cool. All right, number 2. Movie that made it on both y'all lists. And I will say right now, my number 2, my number 1, they were fighting for a long time. And this is probably my hardest top 10. I think both movies should be number 1, but I can't do that. DX would yell at me. I actually asked DX, "Can I do this?" And he said, "Get the fuck out of here." And I had to get away. But that my number 2, I have to give it to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. As Friggin said, great animation, as you guys said, great music, as you guys. I probably watched this movie the most out of even like movies I've seen already. I've watched this movie so much this year at home, and I just will throw it on and the kids come over. I'm like, let's get some popcorn, y'all. And it's such a fantastic movie. I'll tell you why I didn't make my number 1 when I start talking about my number 1. There was even a fun moment watching this one where Frigginz, I'm the talker in movies. I'm the one that leans over to the guy next to me like, oh, and Frigginz hated that guy before he like started going to the movies with me. But then he turned into that guy.
Yes, I did.
And there was a moment where Frigginz leaned over to me and said, "Peeps, they're in a thing right now and they don't know it, or he's in a thing right now and he don't know it." And I'm like, shut up. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, there's more green than normal. I'm like, this green? What? That doesn't mean anything. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever. And then the twist happens, and I'm like, this motherfucker got it. I was so proud. And I don't know, man. And that, again, a great moment. And to the very end of the movie, where we saw all the characters from the first movie that we really didn't get a lot in this movie, it just got me excited for what's to come in the future of it. From everything I had seen up to that point, to the journey of Miles still not accepting status quo the way that Spider-Man does, and even some of the other, or Peter B. Parker, to be like, you know what, like, why are we doing this? Like, I think Miles might be right. And so good, such a great character, such a great movie. Number 2, Spider-Man. I can't wait for the next one. Number 1 is matches DX's, and that is the Guardians of the Galaxy. For me, as DX said, that this was an amazing send-off. And the reason why I think this goes over Spider-Man is because of, I think it's hard for filmmakers to create a trilogy and for us to enjoy every movie of the trilogy. How many trilogies are always like the third one's the worst, or and it not actually finish everything? It just kind of leaves things open because they're trying to make more money going on in the future. So it's the end of the trilogy, but really, is it? Like Scream 3 was the end of the trilogy, right? But yeah, I don't know. But this movie, man, was so beautiful. The special effects were fantastic. Like the High Evolutionary is just one of those villains, and I always talk about a hero is only as good as his villain. Like, I hated the guy, but like I loved hating him. Like, I just couldn't get enough of him. He was such a horrible, despicable character. And then when he got his at the end, yeah, like, get him. I was so excited to see him get his at the end. And like DX said, I was just waiting for a death. I'm like, it's these actors aren't coming back. This is a perfect way to, have those characters leave the MCU and us never have to worry, question why aren't we seeing them again? And then they don't. And then they even tease us that might happen with Peter. And I'm just like, here it comes. And then it doesn't happen. And then Adam like pops up and has his moment. And oh my, we said this when we did our interview, or when we did our review of it, but a movie where I am getting emotional over a cartoon, as Thor would say, rabbit, and his, cartoon otters and walruses, and I'm feeling for these creatures that don't exist, like physically or on any level, and it's such a great movie. And then, like you said, DX, the end of the movie, and we're sad, but we're happy, like we're crying, like we're up, we have tears going down our face because of just how beautiful and happy we see Mantis. Like, everything is tied together. Even something as stupid and silly as Drax dancing. He has talked about from movie to movie how much he hates dancing, and he met his wife because she also was looking at everybody and how despicable those dancing folks were. Like, and then he's just like just a little, oh my gosh, it's like, how dope is this? Mantis, like I said, Mantis going off on her own, being independent. I can go on and on. Like, this movie, dude, was just a perfect send-off to, a series. And it's laughable when you see Aquaman, to see that the very last moment that we're going to see of the DCEU is a dude eating a cockroach, and I don't know, man. This movie is fantastic. I joke with Frigginz, and I say I don't understand it, but I do understand his thoughts and feelings on Guardians 3. But when I saw this movie, when I saw the first trailer from San Diego Comic-Con back in 2022, I think it was. Man, like the movie, I'm like, this is it. This movie is going to be it, and it was it. It really did everything I wanted it to do, and then some. So, but yeah, that is my list.
You want to recap that?
Yeah. Number 10 is Ninja Turtles TMNT. Number 9 is Haunted Mansion Shut Up. Number 8 is Boogeyman Shut Up. Number 7 is Dungeons and Dragons. Number 6, John Wick. Number 5, Oppenheimer. Number 4, Mission Impossible 4. Number 3, Creed 3. And number 2, Across the Spider-Verse. And number 1 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
All righty, there you go, guys. The top
Woo woo.
10 movies of 2023. So now we switch gears, we move along to our current year. 2024 is here. And as always, what are we looking forward to? Now, obviously, some movies have been shifted. We had a massive strike. A lot of movies got pushed back. A lot of movies were removed off the list and pushed to 2025. So this year, man, is a little slim pickings at times for sure. Kind of looking through it, but there's still a lot coming out. And then of course, there's a lot more that'll come out that we don't even know about right now. You know, like some movie will pop out and we'll be like blown away by it, and we'll be like, we had no idea this was coming. So that's what's always fun about the movies too, is the surprises that aren't on these lists of anticipated kind of things. So, as
Exactly.
always, kind of like we did with 2023, I want to start with some honorable mentions. What didn't make the list? What didn't was kind of right outside of it that you might be looking forward to. I got a couple here to kind of kick off. I'm going to start with, again, in no particular order. The first one I have is a movie coming out called If. This is a new movie with Ryan Reynolds. It is directed by John Krasinski and is basically about imaginary friends. And the trailer blew me away. Like I had heard about this movie coming out, heard about this being like an original IP with John Krasinski directing, and a bunch of different people like Steve Carell and Emily Blunt and all kinds of people coming in to do voices of these imaginary friends. And the trailer came out and I was blown away by it. I thought it was hilarious. It looks super cute. It looks like a great movie to take the family to. And I think this is going to be a really, really fun ride. So, If is on my honorable mention list. Uh, Next up is A Quiet Place Day One. So, this is a prequel movie that is coming out to. It's a spin-off movie, so it's not really a direct sequel to A Quiet Place, but it takes place in that universe on day one of the alien invasion. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun because those other movies are great. So I'm curious to see what this take on it will be with the different cast and crew.
What's that one called?
Next up is Quiet Place Day One.
All right.
So that comes out this summer. My next one up is the new Alien movie that's coming out. It is rumored it is called Alien Romulus. We don't know officially if that's the name of it, but director Fede Alvarez taking the reins on here. So we're moving away from the Ridley Scott stuff. This one here, I'm super excited to see where they take the Alien franchise under a new director's wing. I think it's going to be very horror-ish. I think it's going to be very violent. I'm excited to see because this is one of those ones where we're just kind of throwing a Hail Mary. We don't really know much about it. Haven't seen any footage or a trailer, but I think a new Alien movie. It's time for something fresh in this franchise, so I'm stoked. My next one, real quick, is just I talked about on my honorable mentions for 2023 was Saw 10, and it did so well that Saw 11's coming. So definitely interested to see where we take the Saw franchise there. My next one is Beetlejuice 2. I'm excited to see where they take Beetlejuice. Tim Burton is back. Michael Keaton is back as Beetlejuice. Winona Ryder's back. Jenna Ortega's in this one. And I'm curious to see in 2024, what are we doing with Beetlejuice after all these years? So I'm very anxious to
You
see
said it twice
that whole
already.
band back together. And yeah, gonna watch.
One more time. One more
Um,
time.
Oh,
my next one is Craven the Hunter. I think this one has some big potential. It's going to be rated R, which is something they typically don't do. The R red band trailer for this movie looked brutal, looked aggressive. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think he's going to kill it in this role. We'll see. It's Sony. It could be a flip of a coin. We don't know what they're going to do with it. But I'm definitely excited to see what it is. It was supposed to come out last year, and then they ended up pushing it to this summer. So we'll see when that lands. And lastly, for honorable mentions, is Joker Folie à Deux, the Joker 2 sequel that is coming out later this year with Joaquin Phoenix coming back and Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. So I'm anxious to see because the first Joker movie was so incredible. Obviously, $1 billion movie, won the Oscar. So definitely anxious to see what they do with this sequel. So that's my honorable mentions there for 2024. Frigginz, what you got?
For my honorable mentions, I also had the Alien movie coming out. Now that might surprise you, as Aliens is my favorite movie of all time. But when you
Mhm.
talked on your show about the premise being about like kids and stuff, like or younger group of people,
Mhm.
it just turned me off entirely. I was like, I don't want to see Scream with an alien. So, but we'll
Yeah.
see. It could be number one on my list after we
Yeah.
watch it. So we'll see. But it definitely went from being on the top 10 to just on the outskirts. I also have Craven the Hunter on there as well. I had that. I think if it wasn't on my top 10, it was at least an honorable mention last year. I think it was on my top 10. But I saw the trailer and I'm not again it's a crapshoot with me sometimes where I'm like, it's not close to the source material, so it sucks, or I don't care if it's close and it looks even better. And this falls into that version of it. So I think it looks cool. So let's check it out. I'm a big fan of Dracula stuff. Nosferatu lands on my honorable
Interesting.
mentions as well. Though, but I have put it a little lower though because it's a December release, and oftentimes we see those get pushed to the next year. I have been very interested in what they do with Wicked, so that's on honorable mentions. I unfortunately haven't got a chance to see the actual play, and I'm hoping that it's in the musical category, so we get some cool songs with
It
it.
is.
Perfect.
It
So
is.
then that
It's
might
my
make it.
wife's most anticipated. It's the only one she cares about this year.
I was like, that might actually move it up my list a little bit, but
Mhm.
I have Furiosa, Mad Max on honorable mentions. I think I was more excited until I saw the trailer. I did think the trailer was cool, but not, I don't know, something about it. I'm just kind of like, meh. So, I have some excitement for it. So it falls in the honorable mentions. And the trailer I just saw that I almost put this on my top 10 because I thought the trailer was phenomenal and I cannot wait. Actually, as I'm talking, I'm kind of like, maybe I should move this to the 10. Is Monkey Man. I don't know what this is about, but the trailer is balls to the wall. It gives me like John Wicky vibes. This is going to be cool.
Yeah, it
I'm
does.
super excited for Monkey Man. So that could, I almost want to switch it with my 10, but I'll leave it there for now.
Mhm.
That's my honorable mentions. I could go on, but I'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Peeps, what you got? What just is
Um,
outside the list?
just right outside the list, I would say, a lot of things you guys mentioned. I agree. Beetlejuice, Beetlegeist, whatever you want to say. Alien. Regardless, teenagers, not teenagers. I haven't seen a good one in a while, so I'm just skeptical with it. But I'm going to see it. I'm gonna be there, so I have high hopes. Movie you guys haven't mentioned. I saw a trailer of recently, and I think I want to check it out because it looks like one of those 21 Jump Street super stupid, potentially funny movies. Is Ricky Stenicki? Have you guys seen that?
Ah,
I
yes,
just saw it
yes,
today.
yes. John Cena, baby.
Dude, it looks so
Yeah,
dumb, but it looks like it's going to
it
be a
looks
lot of
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
It's gonna be
So
funny. Yeah.
that one. I heard there's like a M. Night Shyamalan produced. I think his wife or someone, maybe I don't know who it is, but they have the same Shyamalan last name is
It's his
directing it.
daughter.
Ah, okay. The Watchers. So I don't know, man. I'm curious. I haven't seen anything on it. I have no idea what to expect, but I don't know. I see there's some good, there's some bad with the Shyamalan Malanga Ding Dongs, but yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. Outside of that, like nothing really else that big on my anticipated for next year. I mean, of course, some animateds like Despicable Me 4. I had a lot of fun with the last one, the last Despicable Me movie. So yeah.
Tongue
Um
twister.
I don't know, like Smile 2. I didn't like the first Smile all that much, but it
Oh,
was
Smile was fun.
very intriguing to me. Like it had a lot of potential, I think, especially with them like going back into it. I'm kind of curious what else they're going to do with it. So yeah, potentially Smile 2. But yeah, outside of that, no, that's really all I have. Finally doing a Gladiator 2. Is that real?
Yeah,
That is real.
Denzel's
But
in
Yeah.
it.
it's not Russell Crowe. It's not Russell Crowe.
Yeah, that Mufasa movie, like what?
I'm
Did
surprised you didn't
anybody
have
want that?
Roadhouse in your
Lion
top
King
10.
prequel.
Yeah,
Hey, I will say Roadhouse will make my honorable mentions now. That trailer was
Okay.
fantastic.
It
I'm
was
looking forward to it.
it's better than
That's
I
a
thought
great
it was gonna
trailer.
be. I'm excited for it
Yes,
too.
yes. I'll put that as an honorable. All right, guys, let's get into it. Most anticipated of 2024, top 10. I'm going to preface my top 10 here because I have a movie that would have definitely been probably number 2. But I don't know 100% if it's going to come out this year. It was shopped around to some distribution. I know Lionsgate purchased it. They're saying tentative 2024, but it's not confirmed. So it was hard for me to kind of place it or not. So I'm just going to kind of put it as an asterisk over here. And that is the new Crow reboot that they're doing with Bill Skarsgård.
That has been
The
on your
original
list for
Crow
how
movie.
long, Don? That's your
Yeah,
Hey
favorite
man,
movie.
it's my
there's been a
gambit,
lot
you
of
know?
iterations. There's been a lot of iterations of this movie, but this one's
Alright.
actually been filmed and is made. It is done. So we're farther along than some of these other ones that they've talked about. But this one here is the retelling of that original movie with Eric Draven, that that the original movie was about. But this one here kind of follows the comic book source material closer, with Bill Skarsgård now being Eric Draven. The original Crow movie is one of my all-time favorite films ever. I love The Crow. I've seen it probably 1,000 times. So I've been waiting for a good reboot of this series, and my fingers are crossed, and I hope so. If it is to come out this year, it will be number 2. But I don't know, so it didn't quite make. So I'm kind of putting it, like I said, as an asterisk, kind of to the side. Now that I get into the official top 10 that I do know is coming out this year, coming in at number 10, it is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. So I think Furiosa looks great. Anna Taylor-Joy looks awesome as the young Charlize Theron. We got Chris Hemsworth in here. Mad Max just looks crazy. Miller's back to direct once again. So, man, let's go. I think it's going to be a fun ride. Coming in at number 9 is Ballerina. This is the spin-off of the John Wick franchise starring my girl Anna de Armas. She takes the reins here and she's going to go whoop some ass. And we're going to have a little bit of Ian McShane popping up, Keanu Reeves popping up. But, hey, man, anything set in that John Wick universe, I am there for. And I love Ana de Armas. I think she's going to kick some serious ass in this. So the Ballerina is number 9. Coming in number 8, this just looks like a blast as well, and that is The Fall Guy. This is the new Ryan Gosling movie with Emily Blunt, directed by David Leitch. David Leitch knows his action. And the trailer to this is great. It looks really, really good. Aaron Taylor Johnson's in this as well. Where you got them working on a film set, and then he gets there's a murder, and he becomes an action guy. It just looks fun. Obviously, it is based on that old 80s TV show. But man, this looks awesome. It just looks like a fun action-filled ride. It was supposed to come out earlier in this year, and then they pushed it back to like May, due to the great word of mouth it's getting. So they wanted it in that prime summer blockbuster status. So I love it. So that's coming in there at number 8. Number 7, I did not see Godzilla -1, but I do like some Godzilla. So Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, comes in at number 7. I'm a sucker for this franchise. Just finished Monarch on Apple TV Plus. I love everything in this universe. They're just fun rides, man, especially seeing the monsters battle each other like Peeps was talking about, seeing them smash, and then now they're going to team up once again, Avengers style, and kick another monkey's ass, and I'm there for it. So Godzilla X Kong coming in at number 7. Coming in number 6, it is the new Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Everybody's back in this one. The new crew from the Afterlife movie, plus the original crew with Bill Murray and everybody. So they're going to be fighting some ghosts that are freezing the city, and it looks really, really cool, man. That first trailer was a blast,
I
and I
hope
think
Ghost
Slimer's
Egon
coming
isn't
back
there.
too. So
Oh, that was
I don't think no Ghost
too
Egon.
soon.
Okay.
That was nice. That was nice. Coming in at number 5 is a movie that finally get to see this week, and that is Argyle. Very excited about Argyle. This is Matthew Vaughn's new spy movie with Superman himself, and it looks awesome. It's got a great cast. It looks like a fun story with this, author writing this book, and the book comes to life, and she gets kind of caught up in everything. Vaughn just has a great action style, and he's got a really cool writing style and directing style, and this just looks like it's going to be a big blast. And I know he wants to turn this into the next Kingsman kind of franchise with movies and TV shows and all kinds of stuff. So looking forward to Argyle. That actually comes out this upcoming Friday. Coming in at number 4, very excited for this. We're going back to the world of the Planet of the Apes, baby. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. is my number 5, or no, my number 4. I love that other trilogy with Andy Serkis. Every single one of those movies are fantastic, and just what they could do with the effects these days and motion capture. I like that this one is set like hundreds of years later after those movies. So we have a new set of apes, and how are the humans, surviving at this point, and just it's just going to be an amazing story. So I'm super excited for a new Planet of the Apes film. So that
I
is
still haven't
number
seen the
4.
third one.
Ooh, you need
I
to get
know.
on that. Coming in number 3, I'm excited. This one has been on my list before over the last couple years, and that is Bad Boys 4. Very excited for this one here. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence back once again. What you gonna do? We are ready for another Bad Boys. Haven't seen a trailer, haven't seen any footage for this one yet, but the last one was a ton of fun. Bad Boys for Life, which I know they wish they would have probably held off that title for this one. But we'll see what they end up officially calling this one. But man, they're just fun movies, dude. I mean, I love every single one of these Bad Boys flicks, and I'm excited to go back to the well with these guys. Coming in at number 2 is Venom 3. Love the Venom
Oh yeah.
movies. I'm ready for Tom Hardy to return and Venom Eddie. It's going to be fun once again to be back in that world. I'm excited. New director stepping in, new story, and not very much known about this one, but I think it's going to be a fun ride. So Venom 3 coming in number 2. And number 1, Deadpool 3. So this is our one and only MCU film this year, which is crazy because we've gotten very accustomed to, 3 to 4 movies a year. We're literally only getting one. But hey, if we're going to get one, I'm glad it's Deadpool 3, which I know will not officially be called Deadpool 3. They're not going to use the number. But Sean Levy stepping in to direct this one. Of course, Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine. And supposedly this will kind of close the book on the Fox universe, and I think we're going to see some X-Men, and we're going to see some possibly Daredevil and Elektra, but not the kind We're going to see Ben Affleck maybe come back, Jennifer Garner, all the Fox stuff, man. As we put that to side, and Ryan officially takes the step into the official MCU. So I think it's going to be a blast. It's going to be rated R. It's going to be batshit crazy. We've seen a lot of the still shots of them fighting and decapitating people and all kinds of stuff, and Wolverine's in his yellow suit, guys, and I think he's going to wear the mask as well.
It's
They
about
just
time.
announced that the first trailer for this is going to be on the Super Bowl. So very,
Ooh.
very excited to see some first footage for Deadpool. But that's what I got, man. So recapping, like I said, if The Crow comes out, that would be number 2. But without that, number 10 is Furiosa, Mad Max Story. Number 9 is The Ballerina. Number 8 is The Fall Guy. Number 7, Godzilla X Kong. Number 6, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Number 5, Argyle. Number 4, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Number 3, Bad Boys 4. Number 2, Venom 3. And number 1, Deadpool 3. So there you go. 2024. Frigginz, what you got in that top 10?
All right, I got most of what you have, but a couple different ones. So, I actually do start my number 10 with Dune Part 2. I actually had Dune higher in my list until the trailer came out, and it actually made me drop it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I really like the first movie. It is slow, but I was intrigued. I never
It's
read the
real.
books. I never read or saw the older films. So I was super into it. Like there's a specific scene where there's like the worm going through, and I had this very visceral moment in the theater thinking, this is why we come to cinemas, like to see this kind of crazy stuff. So I was really, really excited for part 2. But like I said, the trailer didn't do so well. It's kind of pulled me down a little bit. So I have it at 10 right now, and Monkey Man almost punched him out, but I'll leave it there for now. Number 9 is gonna be a movie called Civil War. I had no idea what this
Yeah.
was about.
Civil War looks great.
The trailer popped out, and I was like, "Okay, I am
Haven't seen it
in."
yet.
Yeah, that is such a
Looks
good
really good.
trailer. And I'll do kind of a bit of preface too, in the sense that the problem is we don't have a lot of trailers for some of these things. So like,
Sure.
we oftentimes, and I think we mention this like every year, but like there could be a movie we don't know nothing about that once the trailer comes, we'll be like, oh yeah, that's going to be amazing, or vice versa, a movie I'm really excited for, and you see the trailer in here. The one I always
you wouldn't have known
remember.
about Monkey Man before a couple days ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the one that sticks in my head is like when they came out with the Tomb Raider trailer. Like it was in my list, and the trailer came out right before we did our show, and threw that out right away.
Not that
so
bad.
you know,
It's not that bad.
it wasn't great either. My number 8 is Beetlejuice 2. I recently rewatched the old one, and so it's kind of like in my zeitgeist right now, and so I'm excited to revisit that world. I love that they're bringing Keaton back. That just blows my mind. And I think Jenna Ortega is going to be in that one too. So
her daughter.
Again, powerhouse actor that they're being very famous and into a lot of different things right now. Number 7, I think this might fall into the Oscar category, and that is One Love, the Bob Marley story. This trailer just gets me every time. I almost started crying in the trailer already. So and admittedly, like, I don't really know a lot of his story and a lot of the maybe like less popular known things. So I'm really excited to venture into that piece of history. So that helps add it up on the list for me as well. Number 6, I have Ana de Armas's Ballerina. Again, in that John Wick world, I remember watching the James Bond, the recent one, and where she was kicking butt in the dress, and I was like, that makes me excited for Ballerina. Like that's going to be really cool. I think she's going to do.
It was a good sign.
Yes, exactly. That was her audition for all moviegoers, and I think she passed her audition. So yeah, that's at 6. Number 5, I have Gladiator 2. Again, not knowing anything about it other than Denzel's going to be in it. Gladiator, the first one, is one of the coolest movies of all time. It's amazing. It has so much like significance in my movie watching kind of history. I've seen it a billion times, and I hope that they kind of do it justice with the sequel. And obviously with sequels, oftentimes it can come in and take it in a totally different direction. But the fact that Denzel's on there gives me a little bit of hope. So,
what's your number 5?
Gladiator 2.
Got it.
Yeah. That brings me to number 4, which is what you mentioned. It comes out next week, and that's Argyle. I actually forgot it was already so soon until I happened to see a trailer right before we did this, and it said coming out Friday. I was like, oh shit, that's coming out already?
Yeah.
So very excited for that. I'm at the point now where like I'm trying to avoid trailers, because the first one was good because it showed a lot, but not a lot. You know what I mean? Like it was like a full trailer, but I'm pretty sure it didn't really.
There's only one trailer.
Away.
They didn't put nothing else out.
The TV stuff. I always worry about TV stuff. Like TV ones will show like the end of the movie sometimes. So I'm like really actively.
I only watch streaming, so I don't got to worry about that.
I mean, they even had like a little moment where like, let me introduce you to the real Argyle.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I was watching football today, so I had commercials. Number 3 for me, this movie was supposed to come out in 2023, and it got pushed back. And I saw this, and I mean, it has like old time history aspect. It has motorcycles. It has like cool leather jackets. It's the Bike Riders. I didn't think it was gonna be something that you guys would be too much into, but I could not wait for this movie to come out. And then when I got the news that it was going from you, that it was being pushed out to 2023, I almost shed one single tear. But instead I put on a leather jacket and took off on a motorcycle. No, I didn't. I don't have a motorcycle. But anyway, I super.
There's a reason they pulled it off.
Well, I hope it's good. It looked good to me. The
distributor doesn't want it anymore.
It was right in that like writer strike stuff, so I was hoping it was just because they couldn't promote it. But I thought it looked fantastic, so I'm very, very excited for that one. Cool. My number 2 was on your list as well, Don, but it is higher for me, and that is The Fall Guy. There's nothing about that movie that doesn't like scream to me. It's going to be super fun.
Yes.
Awesome action, silly comedy. Ryan Gosling's great.
Jason Bourne shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Had to
I
pull
mean, the
out some
idea of
Jason
like
Bourne shit.
a stunt man who's like has these skills going and having to like use them, against bad guys or whatever. It's a brilliant idea. I can't believe. I was gonna say I can't believe it hasn't been done before, but I maybe it has. But anyway, in this way, it looks really really
Yes.
fun. And my number one, if you're going to do like a fill-in category, like just in case the Crow comes out, this is going to take the number 2 spot. I think it will historically just always have a Gambit number 1 filler. Like if a Gambit movie happened to come out, boom, that goes in the number 1 spot. But my number 1 matches your number 1, and that's with Deadpool 3. Really for all the same reasons you said. Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, right? Wolverine in the yellow and blue suit, rated R. Who knows what kind of crazy Fox things we're going to get thrown into this movie. I can't wait to see that.
Dude.
They're probably going to just throw everything at us.
Yes.
I just can't wait.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been this excited for a movie for a very, very long time. And I,
Are you
fingers
sure the
crossed.
Bike Riders isn't getting you that excited?
No, that's why it's number 3.
Oh.
But yes, I have my
It was real close.
fingers crossed that I'm getting some version of Gambit. I mean, I like Taylor Kitsch Gambit. Give me that Gambit if you're not going to give us a.
We can
Channing
even
Tatum
see
Gambit.
like both, dude.
Exactly. I just want a little. Give me a little Gambit. That's all I'm asking for. But yes, Deadpool 3.
Things gonna be a lot of multiverse jumping around. We'll see what we get.
I'm excited for it. So recapping that again, number 10 is Dune 2, number 9 is Civil War, number 8 is Beetlejuice 2, number 7 is One Love, number 6 Ballerina, number 5 The Gladiator 2, number 4 Argyle, number 3 The Bike Riders, number 2 Fall Guy, and number 1 Deadpool 3. And that's my most anticipated.
There you go. All right, Peeps, take us home.
Let's do this now. Kind of like UDX's didn't make my top 10, and it isn't anticipated, or it is a honorable mention. But I just wanted to shout this out, like a Guy Ritchie movie with Henry Cavill. Kind of excited about that, but since I don't really know anything about it, and Guy Ritchie, sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but yeah, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, coming out in 2023. So maybe
Could be good.
Yeah, could be. So cool. Number 10, a movie that I said this 1,000 times. I know me and my kids are going to have a blast at watching this. And that's Sonic the Hedgehog 3. 1 and 2 are great movies for silly video game movies. Surprisingly good. And my kids just like they love Sonic, and they're super stoked for it. So because of that, I love going and having a good time with them. So Sonic 3. Number 9, a movie I feel like we've been talking about forever that has been in production, and we've even wanted it to come out when we did our video game movies that we want to see, but is the Borderlands movie. Borderlands is an amazingly fun video game franchise. I don't know what's going to happen when they make it a movie. Video game movies generally are hit or miss, but I hope they do all the good things that we want them to do. And yeah, so hopefully that's going to be a lot of fun. So I am hoping that it's just as good as the games. Number 8 is the Furiosa movie. I actually liked the trailer, and Anya Taylor-Joy getting some funky action on, and we got Thor with an amazing nose job in it, and I don't know, man. And it's got it even like George Miller's directing this again, right? Or he's like kind of coming back to do that. So like, that's a really good sign, I think, with as amazing as the last Mad Max movie was. Fury Road, is that what it was? So yeah, super stoked for that. I didn't match any of you guys this time, so I'm pretty sad about that. My number 7 is the Ghostbusters movie. The last one with Paul Rudd was surprisingly funny. It didn't blow me away at all, but like I found myself really enjoying it, and they used all the Member Berries music from the original movies and did some neat little tie-ins too with the original characters. So the fact that this is all kind of coming together for this weird like event that looks like it's just killing everybody. I don't know, but it looks fun. So I don't know. And anything that Paul Rudd's in, right? I don't know. He's great.
I actually still haven't seen that last Ghostbusters either.
Yeah.
I missed it. Yeah, I missed it.
If you care, You should.
Mhm.
My number 5, the majority of these are on everybody else's list except one. And number 5 is the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. A movie I think I saw 2 and 3, I think, with DX. I haven't done that too often, lately, but man, really dope movies, surprisingly good movies. I never thought I'd be saying like Planet of the Apes, like fantastic trilogy, but it really is. And to see that they're going back, I'm curious. I'm not like, what could it be? I mean, we're probably just going to be like looking at apes, the CGI apes, the whole time, and Andy Serkis doing some greatness. So I don't know. We'll see.
No Andy Serkis in this one.
He's not doing any of the motion
Really?
capture.
None
I
of
know
it?
he might not do any
He
voices, but
doesn't.
like no motion
No, he has
capture?
nothing to do with this one.
Wow,
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe as a supervisor? I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. All right. Number 4 is a movie not on either one of your guys' list, a movie that I am very disappointed about Frigginz when I finally made him watch this movie, and he said, Sean, I'm not listening to you ever again when it comes to movie suggestions, and that's Inside Out 2. I thought the first Inside Out was a fantastic movie. Again, a lot of good moments with my kids and I. After watching that little teaser with my cheerins, like we crack up and we have our
anxiety.
Own little, I know we have our Marvel theories. Like, okay, what other kind of emotions can they add? Oh, there could be this and there could be that. Oh, that's going to be fun. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's got that same mojo as the first one. But yeah, Inside Out 2. I'm really looking forward to that. Number 3 is Godzilla X Kong. As I said before, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. This is the version of Godzilla that I like, and the fact that we're getting Dom and Godzilla and Kong together to team up and take on a bigger, badder threat. I don't know. It looks funny. It looks fun. I don't care about the story. I just want to see some. Anyways. I'm excited. I'm really excited for it. I didn't watch this TV show because I don't have the Peacock,
TV.
right? Apple
TV.
Yeah, I'm not doing. I got too many already. I ain't doing that. I don't know. I'll go to Don's
$6.
house.
You can get it and watch it. It's
and then you can watch Flora and Son as well.
Okay.
It's actually one of the best streamers out there, so you should have it.
All right. I'll cancel my Paramount since I don't watch Ren and Stimpy anymore. Number 2 is a movie lower on your guys' list, but for all the reasons you guys mentioned, Argyle. I am really looking forward to this movie, even to at the end where they're like both shooting up in the air simultaneously with a big purple and pink explosion in the background. It just gave me like the vibes of the Kingsman at the end when all the heads are blowing up around them. Like, such a great scene. And this silly little cartoon cat that's going to be in the movie that's probably going to be cracking everybody up the whole time. I don't know, man. I'm really looking forward. I'm saying, like, out of everything, I'm super looking forward to watching Argyle. And I've seen a trailer that I really haven't seen with most of the other movies I've mentioned. If anything, just teasers. So not really fair, but with anticipations, I am anticipating that more than anything else. And number 1 big shocker is Deadpool 3. I saw recently.
You didn't match us on anything.
I know.
On the biggest movie of them all.
I guess.
The number 1.
I didn't. Oh, I said I didn't match you on anything yet.
It's fine.
I can't get away with that.
You didn't say yet, but
all right. But yeah, Deadpool 3. Ryan Reynolds had mentioned lately how emotional it was with them wrapping everything up at the end, and that gives me, we already had hope. We already knew it was going to be good, and we know that Ryan Reynolds and the Sean Levy director already have a lot of they work together really well because it's what, the 3rd or 4th movie that they've done together. So like,
he's worked with Hugh Jackman even on Real Steel. They did that together, so he already had that with him. And then obviously they did Free Guy. Yeah, they did Free Guy. They did The Atom Project. Yep. And then they're doing another movie as soon as they're done with Deadpool.
See, and like
good chemistry.
That's it. And like, and to potentially see all the old folks from Fox coming back, and them probably all like together again with Hugh Jackman, and this may be the last kind of movie that they do like this all together until Secret wars. It's going to be fun, and it's going to give us all, I feel like, those member berries, and I just hope they do something stupid, even going to like a cartoon verse, talking to the old animated Spider-Man, or even the X-Men or something, just to give us that. I don't know. They might not. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm really looking forward to this movie, and 100,000 reasons I can give for it. The first two Deadpool movies we love, we talk about all the freaking time. I still watch and quote. So we could only and with as successful as those movies are, hopefully Disney has realized, let's give them that kind of creative freedom to just do the thing that they've done twice before, that has given Fox like so much money on such a small budget. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the I don't know, what's the name? Steve, the regular guy that was on
with the mustache.
X-Force. Yeah. Let's see his big return to X-Force. So
Sugar Bear.
Sugar Bear.
Yeah, he did call him Sugar Bear.
Yeah. He had to go back and save him.
Invisible Brad Pitt. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he's dead.
Yeah.
Awesome. We want to recap that 10, Bubby.
Oh yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is my number 10. Number 9 is Borderlands. Number 8 is Furiosa. Number 7 is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Number 6, Transformer. Did I skip number 6?
I think you did, because you didn't say Transformers.
You didn't say Transformers. Are you talking about the animated one coming out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's your number 6 then.
I skipped that entirely.
Wow. I didn't even notice the number skip.
I didn't either. I thought he was on pace.
Getting loads up.
A little bit. Number 5 is Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Number 4 is Inside Out 2. Number 3 is Godzilla X Kong, New Empire. Number 2 is Argyle, and number 1, Deadpool 3, A New Beginning.
Awesome.
Ending?
A new beginning. All right. Well, there you guys have it. Chock full episode here of a lot of movies. So if you haven't seen any of these, make sure you get with it. And, hey, what's your most anticipated? You could leave the comments always down below. But that's it. That is our top 10 movies of 2023 and our top 10 most anticipated of 2024. Thank you so much for everybody that has been watching. And for those of you that listen later to the audio podcast, will be available in both formats, video and audio. So there you go. And we'll go around the horn here. Where can the people find you, Frigginz?
Well, I'm mostly on Instagram these days. I'm at Frigginz, Frigginz. That's Frigginz with a Z. I also have the Twitters and the other things, but really the main one I'm on is that Instagram, maybe Threads as well. So I do random little movie reviews. In 2023, I reviewed every movie I saw in theater, and I just posted my wrap up for 2023. So go ahead and check that out. It's a little bit of a longer episode, but I thought it was still kind of good. So let me know what you think. And also, I am lucky enough to be a special guest here with DONMEGA on this Am I Still on the Air spin-off show here, and also over on the People's Forum with Peeps, where you guys are generous enough to invite me to throw my 2 cents in about the stuff we like to talk about. So check us all out, Red Dragons Radio.
Yeah, baby. All right, Peeps, tell them.
The People's Forum on the Spotify's, on the iTunes, on other platforms as well. Instagram. I guess it is late. Sorry. Twitter for my peoples, number 4, my PEEPLES. That's where you can follow me. And I do my podcast, as I said before, called The People's Forum. It's still alive, no matter what you think. It is still a thing. Yeah. So that's about it.
There you go. Beautiful. And of course, this here, Am I Still on the Air? It is one of our spin-off episodes from Am I on the Air, which is our regular weekly broadcast here to get you caught up with the latest and the greatest entertainment news and television, movies, and non-spoiler reviews is right here on Am I on the Air. Follow on X and Threads. It's simply Am I on the Air. And you can follow me directly at DONMEGA. And of course, everything else is scrolling right above the bottom there. You can always get us on all your favorite platforms, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. We're always there. And of course, YouTube, youtube.com/Am I on the air. You know what it is. So that'll do it for us. Our first big show of 2024. We'll be back again before you know it. But yeah, definitely make sure you check out everybody's individualized shows and support everyone and keep an eye out for anything else down the road. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, y'all. Peace.